Hi there, this is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Welcome into today's video, and we're talking about what makes you an alcoholic. How do you know? Where is the line between being a social but heavy drinker to being someone who is classified as an alcoholic? That's what we're talking about today. Now, before we go any further, just want to talk about an email I got from Tony from London. Tony wasn't happy with me, so he felt the need to email and point out that I shouldn't be smiling and I shouldn't be joking and I shouldn't be laughing in these videos because, God damn it, alcohol is a very serious issue. It kills millions of people, it destroys lives, and I shouldn't be making light of it. Okay, Tony, listen, thank you very much for getting in touch with me. Seriously, I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic, because if you think it, then other people think it. Why am I smiling? Why do I sometimes make jokes when I'm here on YouTube making videos about a drug that kills millions of people? And here's the answer. I don't think, it is a serious subject, but I don't think the fact that someone would arrive at my videos is a somber moment. I don't think that's what we should be getting worried about. I don't think I should be downbeat and somber about this when someone who comes to my videos is looking for a way to get out of the problem. I think the really serious side of this are the people who stick their head in the sand and they ignore all the symptoms, they ignore all the trouble and hardship they're causing their family, they ignore the health problems, they ignore all the damage that is happening around them, and they just keep the blinkers on and they carry on doing what they've been doing. They drink heavily for as long as they will live, which is going to be significantly less than they would have done if they'd taken action. So I think that, if someone is subscribed to my YouTube channel, that is a hint, by the way, if someone is subscribed to this channel, fantastic. This is not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to be, beating yourself up for or hanging your head like you're a terrible, broken person. The opposite is true. You're doing something amazing. You're doing something what the vast majority of people with a drinking problem will never consider. You're taking action. You're not denying it anymore. You know that you have a problem to deal with and you're here to get some help and some advice. And that's a fantastic thing. So let's celebrate that. Let's smile and let's make this a joyous process out of the loop. Yeah? Because as you know, if you've attended one of my boot camps or if you've done my online course, you'll know that one of the things I don't like about the label alcoholic is it implies that there's something broken about you, that there's something wrong with you. And that doesn't happen with any other drug. Think about it. With cigarettes, if you tell someone you're addicted to cigarettes, they don't go, oh, you're a nicotinaholic. You dirty nicotinaholic, and you always will be. Even if you stop smoking, you'll only ever be a recovering nicotinaholic. You'll never recover from this. It's garbage, isn't it? You tell someone you're addicted to cigarettes and everyone knows, well, they're highly addictive, they're very bad for you and you should stop. Bravo if you do. Even heroin, you tell people you're addicted to heroin, they don't think, well, you're a terrible, horrible person. They think, oh my God, you've got this really nasty, horrible substance in your life and it must be terrible for you. You should get it out of your life. With alcohol, though, you tell someone you're an alcoholic or you tell them that you can't control your drinking and watch their face. The pity they have for you. Like, oh, you pathetic person. You terrible, weak-willed individual. Even if you do manage to stop drinking, you won't be cured. You're going to be a recovering alcoholic for the rest of your life. You poor sad sap. I hate that. And that's why I hate the word alcoholic. And I tend not to use it. I'm making today's video to give you some pointers as to where to go when you do get worried about your drinking. So let's do it.
Who wants to be the next to discover how to stop drinking without willpower? Visit StopDrinkingExpert.com and grab your free place on today's coaching session.
Okay, here we go. Little smile there for Tony. Now, what makes an alcoholic? First of all, before I answer that question, let's be very clear about what the question is. Because what do you mean by alcoholic? All right, because there is a difference. And I would say the vast majority of people who come to my website at stopdrinkingexpert.com are not alcoholics. They are problem drinkers. And there is a fine line between the two, and it's very easy to move from problem drinker into alcoholic. It's kind of a spectrum. But the vast majority of people who I meet when I'm doing boot camps around the world and when I'm doing my online training course, vast majority of people are entirely functioning in society. They have families, they have jobs, they're not getting arrested every night and thrown in the drunk tank, they're not drink driving, they're not letting it affect their work, they're generally spinning lots of plates, they're holding down a career, they've got children, they've got a marriage, and they're spinning all these plates, and life's really stressful, and they're looking at social media and they're seeing all their friends are having these perfect lives with no problems and straight A students for children and all this sort of stuff. And the pressure on us these days is immense. We are, we don't just have to be the perfect husband or the perfect wife. We have to be stellar performers in our career. We have to be the best mom or dad on the planet. And this is because of social media. And these people are turning to alcohol as a kind of release valve from all the pressure, because it is an anaesthetic. And, if you drink an anaesthetic, then you're not really conscious. You lose consciousness, you lose the ability to critically think. And what a lot of people find is that when they first start using alcohol for that purpose, is it helps. It stops the noise, just calms things down a little bit. But the problem is, and I've said this many, many times, and please forgive me for boring you with this, but using alcohol to deal with any problem in life is like using a loan shark to deal with your debt problem. Yes, it helps in the short run, but the problems you get out the back end are significantly bigger than the problem you started with. And so if you're drinking alcohol when the kids have gone to bed every night, you're opening a bottle of wine and sitting in front of the TV and you're drinking a bottle of wine a night or 2 bottles of wine a night, and you've been doing this for a while, you've probably noticed that the original benefits you were getting have now become swamped and overwhelmed by the growing list of negatives. You will be seeing problems with your health, problems in your relationship, problems in your parenting ability, problems in your career, problems in your finances, and so on and so on and so on. So, problem drinking is the psychological addiction to alcohol. It is the same as Pavlov and his dogs. Pavlov's dogs, he rang a bell, the dog salivated, blah, blah, blah. All you've done over the years is you've conditioned your subconscious mind to connect alcohol with various states. And it's become automatic. Initially, you had to think about it, but your subconscious mind has created a little program in your head that now says, when you feel stressed, you drink alcohol and it helps. And you don't even have to think about it anymore. It just happens. You feel stressed, alarm goes off in your head, you get a craving for alcohol. This is psychological addiction to the drug. Okay? So that's a problem drinker. Now, an alcoholic is a step further. They have all these psychological addiction signs, but also they have drank for so long, I keep knocking the microphone. They've drank for so long and in such quantity that their body has had to do something dramatic. Because you're drinking diluted poison. There's no way around that. It's just diluted poison. And you've drank it at a rate that really you should be dead. And so your body is programmed to stay alive at all costs. That's like primary command number 1, stay alive. And so your body has had to physically change in order to cope with this toxic environment that you live in. If our atmosphere suddenly got very polluted overnight, a lot of the population would die, but not everyone would die. Some people would adapt and be able to cope with the new atmosphere. And this is what has happened to alcoholics. Their bodies have had to change and adapt to get used to there being poison in the blood all the time. So it's almost like you've learned to breathe a different gas than oxygen. And then when you stop drinking, it's such a shock to your body that this poison is not there anymore, when it assumed it's always there, that it causes severe withdrawal. So imagine if you got used to breathing carbon dioxide because you had to, and then suddenly the environment changed and oxygen came back again. you'd be like a fish out of a pond, wouldn't you? And that's what happens when alcoholics stop drinking. They can't function without alcohol in their system. Now, the reason these people don't come to me for help is they're too far gone. There's nothing I can do for them. They need inpatient medical treatment, because it's no good me saying to them, stop drinking and this is how you do it. Because if they stop drinking, they're going to have a very severe response to that. They need a doctor to oversee the process. They need it to be inpatients, really. So that's why they don't come to me. They're too far gone. And most of them are past the point of looking for help as well. So the title of this video is kind of misleading, and is, who becomes an alcoholic, that sort of thing, is, I don't think that's what most people mean. I think what most people mean is, how do I know that my drinking has gone from being harmless but a social fun to being something that's detrimental to my life? How do I know if my drinking is now not normal and is something that is causing me and my family harm, and I should do something about it? Most people asking this question are not at the point where they want to stop. They're actually the reverse. They're at the point where they're looking for justification to carry on doing what they're doing. They're hoping to put in that search into Google and to find a list and run down the list and go, I'm none of those, so I'm okay. As I said in my last video, look, if you're doing this, if you're searching on Google, if you're putting into YouTube, what does it take to become an alcoholic, then it's a clear indicator that you already have kind of a inappropriate relationship with alcohol. I would describe my wife's drinking as appropriate in that she maybe has maximum 4 or 5 alcoholic drinks per year. Very, very rarely she will have a beer on a hot day, or she'll have a glass of wine with a meal. But it's so rare, it's almost a shock when it happens. That's kind of like normal. It's not a part of her life. She never thinks about it. Very, very occasionally she might just do it, but it's not a part of her life. If you're drinking every night when the kids have gone to bed, or when you're in the kitchen cooking the family meal, it's lost its place in your life. This drug should not be that dominant. And you should take that as a sign that it's time to do something before it gets worse. Some red flags to watch out for. Lying about your consumption. When people ask you how much you drink, you lie. That could be your husband, your wife, your doctor. You exaggerate downwards. You can't control the amount you drink. So you say to yourself, I'll just have one. And then before you know it, the bottle's gone. And that happens all the time. There's a clear indicator that you're running into trouble with this drug. Blackouts, having missing sections of your memory. This is not normal. This is a sign that you've progressed quite far in your drinking. Drinking on your own. I'm just running down my checklist of red flags here off to the side. Hiding drinks, topping up your drinking. So if you're heading out for the night and you're worried that the people you're going out with won't drink at the rate you want to drink at, so you have a bit to drink before you go out just to get you on your way. Does that sound familiar? It's a red flag. It's a red flag that alcohol has become something it shouldn't be in your life. Losing control of the financial situation. So you might be heavily in debt. You might have big credit card bills and things that really need your financial attention, and yet you're spending hundreds of dollars a week on alcohol. There's a sign that you should sit up and take notice of. Finally, attempting to cut down and stop, going through these dry months just to prove to yourself that you don't have a problem. It's kind of twisted thinking if you think about it. If I said to you, that's it. Next month, I'm not going to eat any turnips. Next month, I'm going to have a turnip-free month. That's it. Not a single turnip will be eaten next month. I promise you, I'm going to stay away from turnips. If I said that to you, would you think I was completely in control of my turnip use? Or would you think that I'm completely out of control and I have a big problem with turnips? I don't know where turnips came from. I hate them. Why did that come from? I could have picked any vegetable and I picked one I absolutely despise. I wonder what that means. There's probably some sort of psychological link there between turnips and alcohol. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So, so there's some red flags that your drinking has become an issue. What I would say to you is, if you are currently in that process of trying to validate what you're doing, if you're searching on Google and you're on YouTube trying to find reasons to justify your drinking, let me save you some time, because I spent maybe 5 years doing that. 5 years with confirmation bias, looking for proof that I could carry on and get away with it. Take it from me, as someone who's been there, you can't. You're not going to get away with it. And it's going to massively improve your life if you get started today. So I encourage you to do that. You don't have to use my service. You don't have to use my course. There are plenty of options out there. You can go to AA if you want. There's Annie Grace, who does a good course. Who else is doing stuff out there? William Porter's got some fantastic books. Loads of options. Just do something. That's what I would encourage you to do. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, get in touch with me. But please subscribe to the YouTube channel and share this so we can get the message out there. Thanks a lot.
Imagine no more hangovers, no more mornings of guilt and regret, and no willpower required to get there.
Really consider this, because it's different. It's different to anything you can find out there, and it gives you real mental freedom from the clutches of alcohol.
Get my best-selling ebook free today at stopdrinkingexpert.com.
Without a doubt, if you can make it happen, if you can find a way, if it's something that you feel the heartstrings pulling, that you need to make a change in your life, then you need to pull out all the stops. Pull out all the stops to make it happen and be here.
It's just so worth it. Why did I waste all those years? Being in my middle 60s now, I wasted so many years drinking.
Find out why this is the net's only 5-star rated quit drinking solution. And get your free ebook today at stopdrinkingexpert.com.